Hey folks, AJ the CEO here, and in this video I want to walk you through how to use the ATEM macros and give you some examples of how you can use them and how I use them. So let's go ahead and cut over to the computer. All right, so we are here on my desktop using the ATEM software. Now I am using the ATEM Mini Extreme that has dedicated buttons on the console, which I think is cool. But again, this works for any of the ATEMs. So if we come over here to macros, and actually, let me just explain what a macro is. First off, a macro is just like a digital VCR, if I can call it that way, if y'all know what that is, or it's just a way of recording scripted events so that you can press one button and it will do all of that stuff. So like, for example, I have a macro right now that handles the view that you're looking at right now. So if I open up macros here, you see that I have super source number 1, which is what you're seeing right now, and then super source number 2. So if I hit super source number 2, or for here, so that's buttons 1, 2, 3, 4. If I press 4 on my console, the ATEM right now, you'll see my stuff switch. And I have it switched to where it will switch my super source to my top down view and the camera right there in the back. So when I'm standing up and doing any type of work, now I have this and you can see this. And it makes it really easy. So instead of me having to just come in here and redo it every time, now I'll press the super source, my macro number 3, which switches it back to this view. That's one way that you can do that. So that makes it real simple. Let me show you how to set that up, because I will change this a little bit. So say, what's a good example? Say I'm gonna use the Mac. All right, so I'm gonna use that for one of the shots. So let's go ahead and create a new one. And I guess I need to, and actually it looks like I have a Mac super source. I don't even know what that one does. Let me see. Oh, it does exactly what I was getting ready to make. So I have super source, this one right here, and then that's my top down, and then here's my straightforward one. But anyway, let's make this again anyway, just so you can see how this will work. So say I'm doing a tutorial and I want to cut over and I don't know, maybe, actually this is a good example. With the ATEM, you have 2 mic ends, right? So let me cut back here and show you. And this is what I was just talking to a ministry when I was in Atlanta yesterday about. Here in your audio section, typically, like right now with me, I have all my audio from my mixer coming in this way. So everything's going to go out. So like in Epworth United Methodist Church, they use both of these. Mic number 2 is bringing in audio only, so that when they turn this one on, all they hear is just music. That's the only thing that's plugged in right there. So anybody who's waiting on the live stream, because they want to be able to hear music, but they don't want to hear all the sound inside of the house. So what we want to do is switch these. So let's go back to our macro. And we're going to just do the activity itself. So we're going to make sure we're on create. We're going to hit the plus, give it a name, mic 1 off, mic 2 on. I'll just call it that. And you can give it a description, send music audio only, so house sound does not go to a live stream. Something simple. So now we're just going to record. All we're going to do, hit record, and then just do the actions, which is going to be simple. Turn off mic 1, turn on mic 2. So let's go ahead and record that. And then turn it on. And then I hit stop. That's it. That's the whole activity. Now we're going to have to do the opposite as well too. So let's actually, I'm going to get rid of I should have moved this over here, and I don't think he'll let me move it, but let's make one more. And we're going to call this mic 2 off, mic 1 on. Turn off music only, input, and turn on house sound. All right, now let's record that. That's it, real simple. So now I can come in here, run this, or since we're out of positions here on my macros, I can only use it's only 6 buttons. So this acts as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can use this last one here. So if I hit this macro or run it in here, you can hit run and then say I hit this one. And then we run it. You see, it just turned it off. Real simple. Let's turn the other one on. And run that one. You just switch it. Really simple, straightforward. So now let me close this and I'm just going to hit the macro button on the ATEM and let's see what it does. Really straightforward. All right. And let me run the other one to get it back. So boom, there you go. So again, this just gives you some examples. So say you want to have everything set up. Say you want to, hey, when I come in, I want to have camera 1 put this way, my audio set this way, my super source set this way. You can record as many functions as you want, and now you have a single button press that's going to get everything back to normal. So again, that was really simple, but again, all you're doing is hitting the record button, doing all the activities that you want, then hit stop, and it's just going to process all of that stuff itself. So mine was a simple example of how I would use that to turn on mic 1, turn off mic 2, and flip it back when we're bringing in different sources of audio. Or the other example I demonstrate how I use those is when I'm doing a super source. So if I cut back one more time, when I do a super source of doing an unboxing, I have this shot. Well, this is my main tutorial one. Then I have my other macro. Actually, let me do it this way so you can see it. So I come in here, I run my macro because you're seeing my super source. I can hit this one, run it. That sets it up for me doing tutorials. If I'm doing from my Mac, I can go back to my regular super source, which is the same one you typically see right here. And then super source number 2 is when I'm doing unboxings and I'm over here. So really straightforward. Let's run back to number 1 and set my default stuff back. And I'm going to get rid of these other ones as well. And before I mention that, you can put a pause inside of here. So let's make one more and let's create one to just show you a cycle. I've done this as tests as well too. So say I want to create a new one and I do test cameras. Cycling through cameras after a set amount of time. All right, so first what I would do is switch over to camera number 1. So you're not seeing all of it because I'm just clicking through all of the cameras. And then we're going to put in a pause. And actually, let me switch back so you can actually see what I'm doing here. So inside of here, I'm clicking my shot and say I want to add a pause. I can click add pause. How many seconds do I want to wait? And say I want to wait, I don't know, 15. Add a pause, then I'm going to switch to the next thing. And I'm going to go through all my cameras and just add the pause, all right? So camera 1, adding a pause. Then go to my overhead, add a pause. Go to my other camera, add a pause. And then go to my last camera, add a pause. All right, and then that's it. So now let's go ahead and actually test. I'm gonna run, actually let's switch back one more time so y'all can see. Here's the test cameras. I'm gonna click on that. Let's go to run. And I'm gonna keep looping this so that it will keep going. All right, we'll loop that and let's play. So I should have put more time into it, but as you can see, it is cycling through all of these. So let's go ahead and stop it. And that's how you do it. Now you got to think, what way could you use this? Say that you're by yourself or you're doing some type of scenario, especially if you have the ISO. And it's going to recording in all the tracks. Say that you can't manage everything. You have a static shot that what you need for a given event. Say you have a wedding or whatever, you set up cameras in multiple shots, you got the good focus so you don't have to zoom in and out or whatever. You can set them all up and then just cycle through all the shots just for other people to see if you want to. That's just an example of it. Say Yeah, guess like if I'm running the media by myself and I have static cameras and I don't really need to manage them, you could put this and say, hey, you're doing a sermon. Somebody's preaching, you got 4 cameras on the pulpit and you want to give unique shots and you're there by yourself. Maybe you want to set something like this up, and every 90 seconds, every 2 minutes, you cut to a different shot and you can just let that macro run and you can handle other things. That's just an example, but hopefully that helps. Let me know if you have any thoughts on how you use macros or other ones you would like me to show you how to make. So hopefully, again, my apologies for taking so long to make this. It's been in my head, and then when I came back from the flight, I was like, oh, that should be simple to record. So hopefully you get something out of it. Let me know down below if there's any other stuff with your ATEM that you would like me to play around with and give you tutorials on. We're getting back into some more of the basics and not just the big projects as well, but we want to be able to help y'all as best as we possibly can. So if you like this type of content, appreciate a like, consider subscribing, hit that bell, that way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernizing media ministry. Thanks for watching, folks. This is AJ. Catch you on the next video.